Alright, so we're going to be diving into example 3, but now part B, which we just got to keep stepping it up a notch, because I don't think that last one was hard enough yet. We just got to keep challenging ourselves, and it's going to be incredible, because remember you guys, the harder the problem, the more exciting the problem, so get pumped up. Alright, so we're still looking at our same function for the previous problem. Okay, we have our h of x equals 2x plus 1 when x is less than or equal to 2. And we have h of x equals x squared minus 4 when x is greater than 2. So we're going to be finding the value of the function when h is negative 3 plus when h is 2 minus when h is 6. So first, I'm going to figure out which one of these functions, which one it belongs to. Does it belong to the orange function or the purple function, which is all determined by our x values. So let's take a look. So in this first one, these are our x values that we'll be looking at to see which inequality they are allowed to fall in. So let's look at our first one, negative 3. So if I take a look at our second equation, negative 3, if I put that in for x, is not greater than 2. So the second one rejects it. Man, that stinks. Alright, so let's take a look at the first one. Maybe the first one will allow it so it can feel like it belongs. So negative 3, if I put it in for x, negative 3 is definitely less than or equal to 2. Heck yes! So it works. Yay! So this first one will be an orange equation. It only applies to the orange. So I'm just going to box it in orange so I don't forget. Now our second problem, let's see which inequality R2 belongs to. So let's take a look. Now this one's tricky because you're probably like, holy hot dog, Miss Long, both of these have a 2. So which one do I use? Well, you can calm down because I can help you out with this one. So, when x is 2, if we look at this first one, this is when x is larger than 2. Okay, that means it cannot equal 2 if it's everything larger than 2. So the purple equation rejects the 2, so it's sad, but it's about to get glad because this right here, that equal 2 means that it can be a 2. So my first equation will allow the 2. So this one is also going to be an orange equation. Now, let's take a look at our final function. So we want to know what the function is when x is 6. So let's see which one of our functions will allow 6. So if I put 6 in for x here, 6 is sadly not less than or equal to 2. Shucks. But maybe the second one will allow it. Let's see. So if I put a 6 in for x here, 6 is definitely greater than 2. Yay! So this one, the purple equation will work. So we're going to be focusing on only the purple equation on that one. Alright, so before we put all three of these lovely function values together, I'm going to figure out what each of these are separately, and then we will be adding and subtracting them. So let's start with our h of negative 3, which I am going to work in orange because I like to stay color coordinated when I solve my math problems. Alright, so let's figure out what the function is when the x value is negative 3. So we're focusing on the orange, and again we'll be replacing our x. This is an x value. So we'll be replacing this x right here with our negative 3. So I'm going to start by writing the 2. Okay, I see an x, so that x is going to be transforming into that negative 3, which I'm going to put it in a parenthesis because it's multiplying. And I'm going to bring down the plus 1. Alright, so let's solve for when h is negative 3. So this equals 2 times negative 3 is a negative 6. I'm going to bring over the plus 1. Alright, and negative 6 plus 1 will be a negative 5. Alright, so when h is negative 3, it will equal negative 5. So we're going to keep that in mind for later when we are solving. Alright, so now we're going to do the same thing. Sorry, when h is negative 3, it will be negative 5. So now we're going to do the same thing, but now when h is 2, which it's applying to my orange equation just like before, so we're focusing on just this one. And again, we will be replacing this x right here with our function value, which is a 2. So let's dive on in. So now we'll be solving for when h is 2. Alright, so I'm going to start with my 2, bring it on down. I'm going to replace that bad boy right there, that x, with a 2. And then I'm going to add the 1. Alright, so let's dive in. So 2 times 2 will give me a 4. I'm going to bring over the plus 1. And then 4 plus 1 gives me 5. Holy hot dog. So when h is 2, the function value is 5. Alright, so we're going to keep that in mind for later. So when h is 2, the value will be 5. Alright, now we're going to do the same thing for h of 6, which I'm going to be working in purple now, since we're focusing on the purple equation. So h of 6. Alright, so now we're focusing on our purple equation. So now you're ignoring that first equation. It does not exist. I don't care about the first one anymore. We don't care about this first one. Doesn't matter anymore. Alright, so let's focus on the second one. So I spot an x. So this x right here is going to transform into my 6, because this is our x. Okay, so I'm going to put a 6 in a parenthesis with a squared. And then I'm going to drop down the minus 4. Alright, let's start solving. So we do the exponent first. 6 squared is a 6 times a 6, which is 36. And then minus 4, I'm going to bring that over. And then 36 minus 4 is 32. Alright, so when h is 6, it equals 32. Alright, so now we're going to put it all together. I'm going to do h of negative 3 plus h of 2 minus h of 6, which I'm going to be using these values when I solve that. So I'm just going to write it one more time. H of negative 3 plus h of 2 minus h of 6. Alright, so let's replace these values with what they equal and then combine like terms. And then we're done. So h of negative 3, if I look over here, h of negative 3 is negative 5. Yeah. Alright, h of negative 2, or I'm sorry, h of positive 2 is a 5. So h of 2 will be 5. So I'm going to bring down my plus sign, plus 5. I'm going to bring down my minus sign. Alright, h of 6 is 32. So I'm going to replace my h of 6 with 32. Alright, and that came from over here. These three values are right here. I grabbed those from there. Alright, so now our last step is to combine like terms. Then we're done. Alright, so negative 5 plus 5. Let's start combining our like terms. Negative 5 plus 5 is a 0. Which, you know, if you need to make your 0 into a cat, I completely understand. I do it all the time. Alright, so 0 minus 32 will give me a negative 32. Alright, so my final answer. H of negative 3 plus h of 2 minus h of 6 equals negative 32. And that would be my final answer. Shazam. Holy hot dog, you guys. That was pretty incredible. Thanks for having a blast with me.